Hello everybody, it's Jennifer. It's time for my weekly update. So I am here to update you. Uh let's see, I don't know how much weight I've gained or lost or gained. It's been so up and down that I can't really remember. So what I will say is that I weighed in today at 326. I think that's like 3 pounds lower than my lowest pre-op weight of 329, which I think was a couple of weeks back. I don't know. But I'm at 326 today. And everything else is going good. I do have my pre-op appointment this Friday, so I do have to really buckle down on my diet this week and rein in a little bit of the excess snacking and eating that I've been doing. I haven't been eating an obscene amount of calories, but I have definitely been over the 1200 that I'm supposed to be getting. So probably it's closer to 15, maybe 1600. And you know, on a 1200 calorie diet, yes, 15 to 1600 is high, but that's still so much less than some of my more regular obscene amount of eating. So I'm still considering it a victory. But I do have pre-op, like I said, Friday, so I am really pulling in the reins. I do have to lose a little bit more weight before Friday, so it will probably not be a very fun week for me, food-wise. The rash that I had last week, the hives, it wasn't really a rash. When I think of rash, I think like contagious, like, illness. What I had was a reaction to a synthetic leather on my belt, and I did see a doctor about it because it did get quite bad. And really, I didn't even need to see the doctor because I already knew what it was, and we just went back to the steroid creams to try and tame that down a little bit, and it seems to have gone for the most part away. So, I can live with that. However, funny as it is, just last week I was telling you guys about how I have a hand condition that causes some blistering and some, it's itching and it's very uncomfortable. And that happens usually when I'm under stress. It's the number one trigger for this particular condition is stress. And I don't know if I just stressed myself out over everything or what happened, but I started getting a flare-up this past week. So I immediately went onto the medication that it's again a topical steroid that's supposed to help combat some of that, and it's keeping it pretty well controlled. So that's about it on my allergy front. Other than that, not a lot going on. I did get a few really interesting emails this past week. Apparently some people really have too much time on their hands. Yes, people, I know I'm fat. That's why I'm doing these videos. That's why I'm having surgery. And, yeah, thanks for pointing it out. I had an incident this last week, that really upset me. Really upset me. I've been fairly lucky in that I don't really have people yell stuff at me. I mean, I've had snickering and pointing and people talking about me, and that's fine. I ignore it. I've never had a grown adult yell something at me about my weight until this last week. And I was so infuriated. I mean, I escalated it to a point that I probably, wouldn't have prior, but something just came over me. This man, probably in his late 50s, early 60s, riding a bike. I'm filling up my gas tank at a gas station, and he rides by me, and he yells a few choice things. The first of which is, "Hey fatty, you need a bike, but bad." First of all, asshole, I have a bike. I have a very nice, very expensive Trek mountain bike that I adore. I don't ride it because I have, in fact, gotten too heavy for it. However, he doesn't know me, first of all. Second of all, by his age, you would think that he would have enough sense to not yell things at people. I've always tried to live by do unto others, as you would want done unto you. That's how I live my life. I treat people well because I'd like to be treated well. And I was really upset because it's one thing when you have a child doing something like that, because that's childish behavior. It's a whole nother when you have a man in his 50s or 60s doing something like that. So where I could have and probably should have ignored it, I did say some things back. It was just a very upsetting day. I was very, very upset. I had never had somebody publicly yell something like that at me before. And I honestly, it was not a feeling I ever care to repeat. And for those of you who've had people yell things at you, I am so sorry. Because I never fully understood. I mean, I understood that it was bad and that it would feel bad, but I had never had it actually happen. So it was definitely an eye-opening experience for me. And it makes me really sad for him that his mind is so narrow. And it makes me sad for the world today that people feel the need to hurt others that way, and that people focus so much of who they think you are on how big you are. My size, of course, has something to do with who I am and who I've become, but that's not all I am. I mean, for all that person knows, I could be curing cancer. He doesn't know me. Yet he found it perfectly acceptable to holler something like that at me. So that was kind of upsetting. But yeah, that was my week. The other night, of course, I actually had a couple of realizations that really were powerful and kind of big for me. The risks of this surgery have always seemed real. They've always been at the forefront of my mind. And, you know, as something that realistically was going to happen or could happen. However, as much as I've talked about how, you know, all the things I hope to be able to do or I want to be able to do after surgery, that part hasn't seemed 100% real. It hasn't seemed really real to me yet until the other night. And it was weird because it was just, I was reading this whole thing about statistically the things that are cured or made better by having gastric bypass or weight loss surgery in general. And sorry, my daughter. And suddenly it hit me. It was just like, literally like a ton of bricks just falling on me. It was an amazing moment for me. I mean, it was very emotional. There were tears because it suddenly was real. It was one of those moments where I realized that my life is going to change. And not just in a, you know, I know in my head it's going to, I get it. It's going to change. And it's going to change in ways that I probably can't even fully grasp right now. And I'm so excited. And it was it's like getting out of prison. It's like knowing that your sentence is almost up. And anybody who's been this size understands when I say that my life in the last few years has been basically me living in prison. This is my prison. I have eaten myself into a jail cell. And it's like there's another person in there that's just dying to get out. And I'm finally getting out. It's like, it's just an amazing thing. Suddenly all of the hope and the you know, that hope is real now. Suddenly I realize that I'm going to be free. And it's an amazing thing. And, you know, it was just a really, really great moment for me. So I am definitely looking forward. I'm definitely feeling good. Friday is pre-op, like I think I've probably said 2 or 3 times. So Friday is pre-op and then surgery August 10th. And I could not be more excited at this point. I'm just trying to get my house in order, trying to get everything cleaned up, and it's just a never-ending battle. It seems like when you have, you know, a husband and kid at home, no matter how many times you clean something up, you turn around and there's another mess. So, oh yeah, my mom has said that she's going to probably come stay with me after my surgery for a little while. She does live here in town, but it's a little easier for her to just be here than to drive back and forth. So she's probably going to come stay with me for at least a couple of days to a week after my surgery. And that will be very nice to have somebody here to help me out. I'm hoping that by a week out, I won't need somebody here. Or, you know, a week out of the hospital, I won't need somebody here as much. So that is my hope. So that has been definitely some good news. So I don't have to worry so much about what's going to happen. What I am worried about is back to school night for my daughter. It's going to fall, I mean, it's going to be like a week after surgery. I'm going to be supposed to be going less than a week after surgery. I'm supposed to go to open house. Not open house, back to school night. That's where I find out who my daughter's teacher is. It's where I, you know, get to meet them. And there's a lot of stuff that needs to be done that night. So I have to be there. Like, I'm a very involved parent. I can't send her with just my mom or my husband. I need to be there. So I'm trying to work out the logistics of that and hoping that I'm feeling up to leaving the house and, you know, going to back to school night. So if any of you have, you know, managed to, you know, or just let me know how you guys felt like a week out. If you felt like you could have gone and walked, or, you know, not gonna walk all the way around the school. I'm gonna walk to the classroom, sit down, listen to what teacher has to say, walk back to the car and go home. So, I mean, it's probably going to take about an hour. And if any of you have, you know, to let me know how you felt a week out. And if you would have felt up to going and doing something like that, just so that I can, you know, kind of plan as best I can. Anyways, I will let you all go. I might do some filming on Friday during my pre-op appointment and my pre-op hospital visit for my chest x-ray and another EKG and blood work and all that fun stuff. So I will probably talk to you guys again later this week on Friday. Thank you for watching, and I hope everybody has a nice week. Bye.